Hi, it's your girl, CharJohnson. Guess what, you guys? I am on Mecca Media Entertainment with Akron Hip Hop. Akron Hip Hop on YouTube. Yes, I'm going to be here all summer long. I'm going to be talking to some guests, maybe sometimes talking about myself, but we're going to hit on some things that shape and mold our community, get down to the nitty gritty, and see what's going on. If you thought your girl was fabulous, look at me, I'm flawless. We're going to touch on some of these things. It may be a little messy. It may hurt your feelings, but these are topics and issues that we just need to address. And we're going to do it here on Akron Hip Hop YouTube. It's your girl, Char Johnson. Check out my website, CharJohnson.com. Let's get into some things today.
My label, Temple Records and Legion Records, we're going to sponsor a showcase for the best artists in the Midwest.
And you know, I manage the best rapper in the city.
And the winner, whichever one of you is going to be, will receive a worldwide release.
So we're back, you guys. So today we want to talk about something that I think really needs to be covered, especially when we have, what I would say here in Akron, a rising number of, I'm going to say, homes that I see outside in tents, people sleeping under the bridge, mothers, fathers, children. I know that it's all over the United States, but here in Akron, Ohio, over the past couple of years, I've seen it abundantly. And homelessness is something that is more serious than most would think it is, but it is, especially in a city like this. So here today, I have a man. I was going to say young man, but you are a full-grown, blown man. So I have a man sitting here with me today, and I was asking him before we started taping a little bit about who he was and what he does. But we're going to touch on a couple of things, and I want to touch particularly on homelessness. How do you feel about that in general? And do you think that we have enough programs and enough outlets? And do you believe that people are, I don't want to say helpless, but are they using the right resources? And are they coming into their own to get themselves out of the situation? And I want you to tell everyone who you are, where you live at, and just a brief explanation about who you are so they can understand why you and I are talking about this subject today.
Well, first of all, my name is Tracy Ware, Tracy Gillespie, Eldorado Ware, bass player extraordinaire, T Ware. I live in a abandoned house right now. I didn't choose to be in an abandoned house. I got kicked out of the only men's shelter in Akron, Ohio, Haven and Rest. There's only one shelter. I don't know how many female shelters they have, but they only have one male homeless shelter. And I was asked to leave. I got in an altercation, and I put a guy in the hospital. Long story short, I had told him about this guy. He's just out of penitentiary, big guy, bench press 700, big bank robber. I'm a slim guy, but I know how to handle myself. One thing led to another, and he ended up in the hospital, and I had to leave. It was February the 5th, 2014, and I didn't have anywhere to go. So I walked to an abandoned house, kicked the door in, and I cleaned it up, and I've been staying there ever since. I don't know if I'm getting used to being homeless, because like she said, I go to these shelter spoons, places where you can go eat at, and I see a lot more people coming in, and it used to be a lot of young blacks. Now I see a lot of elder white folks and families, and it's like gangs of them. It's like a tent city, and it's like everybody. I'm thinking I'm the only one, and I'm not the only one. It's like this is like an epidemic. People getting used to not being in a functional house, a functional way of living. They getting going on a dysfunctional way of living, and like I said, I put all my energy into my music. I went and got me a bass, and I got another bass and another bass and another guitar and another banjo, and I get up and it's like that's my job, and I got a couple good gigs to where now I rubbed elbows with some people, and there's some irons in the fire for a job. So hopefully, with God's help, I can buy this house that I'm staying in, because I fixed it up. I like it. It's a nice house. It's one of the nicest houses on the street that I'm at, and I would like to fix it up and own it. But then I got to deal with the city. They're giving me the roller coaster ride about it, and I don't want to press it because they can come and evict me because I'm not supposed to be in there. But
Okay, so I have a couple of questions that I would like to ask you. So when you got to this house, or this house that you went, because I see that you said you kicked this door in, did you just go by this house and say, this looks like a great place for me to stay? Or you said it was in February, so it's cold outside, I got to get some shelter? Okay, and you said that this was in 2014, is that correct? Okay, so if you don't mind me asking, do you have lights? Do you have water? Do you have gas? Have you furnished the home? Because it's now 2018, it's 4 years later, but you're still staying there. So I believe that the technical term is squatter. So
that's what I'm doing. That's exactly what I'm doing. I went down and I kind of asked, like, as the third person, and that's what they told me. They told me, whoever your friend is, he's squatting, but if he fixed it up and he did such and such and such and such and such and such, maybe he would not have to pay the back taxes that's on that house, and he could get it from just the time that he transformed. So if he had pictures of how the house was jacked up and he fixed it up and he furnished it, and now he wants the gas and lights and waters on in his name, could it? And they said it's a possibility that he can, but it's a possibility that he may have to leave and they will tear it down. It's all on how it's called Ohio banking. If Ohio banking gets the house, it's done, because they want to tear down all the pretty big houses and make these little jacked up houses.
okay, so you've learned a little bit.
I learned a lot.
Okay, if you don't mind me asking, how did you become homeless?
My girlfriend wanted me to work a temporary job, just be happy with being in a temporary job and stop chasing music, and I didn't want to do that, so she kicked me out.
Okay, so we're going to take a break here, and when we come back, I have a little story that I would like to share with you guys about being homeless. And then I want to ask you just a couple of questions, because I'm pretty sure that you know about many other programs out here that people can, educate themselves on to be able to use to better themselves. And we'll be right back after this.
Look, things like this happen all the time. This you got the money come up with, we're gonna foreclose on the home.
How can you people live with yourself? How much is it gonna cost for my grandmother to keep her house?
We're back. It's your girl, CharJohnson, here with Akron Hip Hop on YouTube. And we are chit-chatting with Char. That's Chit Chat with Char. Don't forget to check out the website, CharJohnson.com. So I am sitting here with a man. I want to say young man, but with a man who let us know how he became homeless and how he has been living for the past 4 years. I want to share something with you guys real quick, and then we're going to get back into this. I myself was homeless at one time. I was pregnant and homeless, had a baby out the shelter. Yes, me. But what I learned from being homeless is that just because you don't own your home doesn't mean, that you have to just stay in the situation that you're in. I was homeless, and it wasn't by choice. It was because of abuse. So I was homeless and pregnant, had a baby out the shelter. And ever since I got back on my feet, I vowed to never be homeless again. But guess what? It happened again. Not by choice. And I had 2 children and was pregnant with the 3rd. So I was pregnant again. Had another baby out the shelter. So I kind of am partial a little bit and a little bit more understanding when it comes to, because sometimes people think when you're homeless, you're just, you're lazy or you don't want to pay bills. They don't understand the circumstances. And sometimes when you're not educated on resources, you just don't know what to do because it can be very overwhelming. And that's some things that I hope that you can educate our listeners and followers and watchers on what are some resources that are out here that can help you while you're being homeless, because sometimes you may have enough money to eat. You may just have enough money to put gas in your car to go to work, but you don't have enough money for shelter. So I'm just interested in you sharing today here in Summit County in Akron, Ohio, because as you mentioned earlier, you see families. It's not about if it's just black people or young people. It's elderly. So are there good resources to help people that are homeless or maybe in a similar situation that you're in?
Yes, there are a couple of resources out here. CSS has a good program. CSS, what's that stand for? Center. It's located over on Brown Street. Brown Street, CSS on Brown Street. Community Center Service, CSS. They have a good program. They have a laundry service. You can take a load of clothes there and wash your clothes. They got showers, four dryers, 4 washers, 4 showers. And they also have a lady, I forget her name, but she's in charge of housing. And they have counseling. After that, there's a church right down here on High Street. I think it's the oldest Roman Catholic church in Akron, St. Bernard's. Off 16th on the Sunday at 16th and the third Sundays and second Wednesday of the month. That's like after the 16th, then you go on Wednesday and Sunday. And there's a guy in there named Buzz. His name is Buzz. He helps with jobs. Well, he says work, because a lot of people say they want a job, but they don't want to go to work. So he helps with work. And then there's a lady there. She's works with the Akron housing program. So you go there, and I'm sure they can help you. My situation is just a little bit different, because I'm kind of different, I'm kind of like different. I'll just leave it at that. But those are the 2 main sources that I know that will help you. CSS, their housing program, and you go down here to the Roman Catholic Church on High Street on Sundays. I usually go on Sundays, and they'll surely help you with the housing program.
Okay, now you saying that you're different, and I'm pretty sure that there are many people who are in a similar situation feels that they're different too. And I'm not going to say myself, but if I was on the outside looking in, or if I had not myself encountered the situation, the first thing I'm pretty sure that most people would look at it is, no, you're lazy. If you're an able-bodied man or woman, you should be able to go out and go to work, pay bills, and get, and do like all the rest of us. That's how I would have looked at things if I myself had not been put in the situations, and they were, situations that truthfully that I had no control over it. But if you have control over it, I'm going to look at it as, if you are an able-bodied individual with the right mind, body, and soul, then you have to work for what you need and for what you want. So I personally, and I know many would look at it that way, if you went and you had a house that you said that you kicked in the door in 2014 and now it's 2018, but you're still living there and you're hoping to buy it, how are you going to be able to buy it if the city tells you, are you working? I mean, have you saved? I'm just real curious on how you were able to do that. Now, before we get into all that, we're going to take a quick break here, and we'll be right back.
Well, if you need anything, I'm here. Face wasn't with you when you was dodging them bullets, nigga. Sure you didn't tell nobody else?
Come on in, nigga. You ain't ready for the jungle? This is the fuck you need to do.
Tell me what happened.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta mix it up a little bit. Get in, get out, get the fuck out. You lost the truth.
You're just wrong, baby. Tell you what, Tyra. You do shit?
Hello?
Look, maybe Tyrell is a good guy. Maybe he just got caught up in the wrong thing. But you gotta understand, I can't just write him off just because you say so.
Get down on the fucking ground, nigga! Get down, nigga!
Countless murders in the city of Akron.
Bro, but it's the wrong way and the right way to do shit, man. And that was the wrong way.
Now we're back. So before we took the break, I had a little question for you, and I just wanted to know. So I just want you to basically let me know what's been going on for the 4 years and why you didn't go back to work and how you doing and what are you doing now as far as you're considering yourself being homeless.
Well, I looked back on myself. I was under a lot of stress, anxiety, going to work and trying to come home and pay bills and be in a relationship, this and that. And when I got in the house, as soon as that first year, by myself, no utilities, no light, nothing. It was just me and God. And then I prayed to get a professional bass, and he gave it to me. Now it's me, God, and my bass. And it's just like I became somebody else. It's just like I became me. I wasn't in that cookie cutter mode. I wasn't in that rat race. And before I go back to that rat race, I'm trying to have everything battened down like it's supposed to be. You know, I'm in 3 different bands now. I get good money from these churches. I mean, as far as playing in them and volunteering in them. I mean, I don't have to worry about food no more. I don't have to worry about any. I got pastors that ways to help me. If I get this house in my name, they'll help me fix it up with furnace and icebox and all that. But I just have to get it in my name. The middle part of it is that I'm a new being because I went through a tunnel and I came out okay. Everybody should be in an abandoned house at least for a year to get to know themselves. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying that. That's when I say I'm kind of different because I could get in one of these housing programs, but I don't really want to do that right now. I want to go ahead and get this thing nailed down, then go back to work. I have 2 job opportunities, 2 good job, paying job, benefits and everything. But I want to make sure that this band thing is going good. and I want to make sure that I get this housing in my name. Because if not, then I may relocate. Because one job is global. It's global. They got work for a person like me. I could become a CEO, and they'll let me do that. I've already talked to the head man. So, I mean, sometimes adversity is what you need, you know. And I got blessed. Timing.
So, just because you're homeless doesn't mean that you don't have an end game or a plan. I am CharJohnson, also known to many as Let's Talk Char. And if you follow Let's Talk Char, I kind of give you guys a little bit of Char's opinion and Char talk. So before we leave today, I just want to leave you guys with something. Everyone goes through a down period in their life. The question you should ask yourself is, how long am I going to stay here? What is my next step? What game plan do I have? And what resources is out there to help me get to where I want to be? There's something that you said that I think that we all can take from that. When you have dreams and you have goals and you have aspirations, sometimes you have to take a step back, shut out the whole world, and ask yourself, who am I? Where am I going? Where I want to be? And how I'm going to get there. Make sure you tune in all summer long, each week. Check out Chit Chat with Char. See what we're talking about, how we doing the things in the community. Make sure you follow Akron Hip Hop YouTube, and it's Mecca, baby.